All right, well, good Sunday evening to you. On Fritz back in here. We got a tornado warning for West Virginia County, almost outside of our coverage area, and the storm cell pretty much is moving its way outside of our coverage area. But anywho, we will start the tornado warning coverage here real quick. Let's flip over to the other software, and here's where we're at. So let's take a zoom out. And we are going down here to West Virginia, almost outside of the Ohio News and Weather coverage area. But for the Mid-Ohio Valley, this is in your area, and it's our last county that we cover. We do have a tornado warning for you that's radar indicated. So let's go ahead and take a trip down here to this area down in West Virginia. Let's go ahead and zoom in here for you for Wetzel County. Just to kind of give you a little bit of context here, the tornado warning is radar indicated, moving east at 35 miles an hour, and it continues to be, continues to move east about 35 on the latest update that just came in. We also have some severe thunderstorm watches that are in effect as well that was issued a little bit ago. That's what you're seeing there in that purplish color. They went ahead and issued some of those for portions of our coverage area in Ohio and a couple of counties there in West Virginia. But so this is what we're looking at here for as far as tornado warning goes. Again, if you're just joining us, we're in the state of West Virginia, almost outside of our coverage area. So Wetzel County, Marion County, and Mongolia County. I know some of those are outside of their coverage area, but that's where this tornado warning is. Let's take a look here at the reflectivity, velocity, I should say, right there. You can kind of see where the greens and the reds touch. That is right where we're seeing some rotation just outside of Fairview, mainly here in Marion County. And I know this may not be 100% inside of our coverage area, but some of these storms today, very quick as far as bursting up a little bit, and you could see some strong winds, damaging winds, I should say, with this as well. So kind of zoom out here just a little bit so you can kind of see again where we're at. We're way down here in West Virginia, almost outside of our coverage area once again, and this will be moving along here fairly quickly. But for Belmont, Marshall, and Ohio County, so that one was earlier, sorry, reading the wrong message here, for Wetzel County that's in our coverage area. Basically, it's outside of the coverage area now, but did want to come live and show you, hey, this is what we got going on outside. We do have a few people that monitor us just on the outside of our coverage area. It does encompass a portion of Wetzel County, but pretty much that's over for Wetzel County as the rotation has moved on in here into Marion County in West Virginia, kind of riding right along that border of Mongolia County and Marion County in West Virginia. So right there, pretty decent amount of rotation there, especially coming in from radar, and we're looking at this from the Pittsburgh radar. So we got a pretty good look at that. It's decent ways away, but it's the better look out of the two radars that I could pick from down in this area. So if we're kind of looking here, I'm going to zoom on out and kind of show you what we got going on. I'll flip back over to velocity, or reflectivity, I should say, kind of giving you an overview of what's going on throughout the coverage area. So that tornado warning, pretty much for all intents and purposes, is outside of our coverage area. But again, coming live real quick to show you, hey, we're continuing to monitor that, and it was for just a portion of our coverage area. So Wetzel County, yes, you were in the warning, but the storm cell is moved out of your county. You still need to respect that polygon. You're still under a tornado warning for the extreme eastern portion of Wetzel County. So kind of zooming out here and looking at everything, kind of some scattered showers. And some of these storms today, as we talked about, single cell and multi-cell type cluster storms today, some of these, as we talked about earlier, if you were watching earlier, can have the tendency to get a little bit cranky, especially as we head into the evening hours. We're starting to see temperatures, kind of getting at their peak a little bit in the upper atmosphere. And again, as sun starts to set, we start to get some of that heat that releases, and then we kind of see some prime time. So we're not totally out of the woods yet, but we still need to keep an eye on some things. Now, the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service did put portions of the coverage area underneath a severe thunderstorm watch. So you kind of look here, just very select portions, I might say, very, very select portions of our coverage area went underneath the watch. That includes Belmont County, Guernsey County, and Muskegon County, and then it kind of went up to Coshocton, Tuscarawas, Harrison, Carroll, Columbiana, Jefferson, and that's pretty much it in our coverage area. And then a couple other small counties, Brooke, Ohio, and Marshall, in West Virginia, are under a severe thunderstorm watch until this evening. But it was kind of surprising that they didn't put more of the area underneath a severe thunderstorm watch, but they did not. So that's kind of what we got going on here at the moment. Let's take a look here. Let's zoom back into our tornado warning here. And again, this is... Give me 1 second here. This is, let's go ahead and zoom back in here to the West Virginia area. This is the extreme portion here of Wetzel County. It's out of Wetzel County for all intents and purposes, but again, until the update, we're going to say respect the polygon. The rotation, however, is now outside of our coverage area, but if you are watching from Marion County or even Mongolia County, that's not in our coverage area. Still some pretty decent rotation going on right now. That's being picked up there by radar out of Pittsburgh. And if I look at the storm relative velocity, taking the motion out of the storm, definitely can see a decent amount of rotation going on there. So definitely a good call from the National Weather Service on issuance of that tornado warning. But again, you if I even zoom out, you can kind of see it very, very clearly here for portions of Marion and Mongolia counties in West Virginia. So that's kind of where we're at. I don't have I don't need to stay live any longer. I don't need to overhype it because it is now out of our coverage area. I'm going to hang with it for just a second until they clear Wetzel County out of that, Wetzel County out of the warning. But that cell, again, is out of Wetzel County at this point. And as you saw, the rotation has moved on to Marion and Mongolia County. It's a couple of stells. Let's, while we got a quick, I want to say break, but a quick moment here. Let's take a look at some of these other cells that are moving along here, coming up to I-70 down here in Cambridge. Some stronger winds with this. We're not seeing a ton of reports coming out of this. Some torrential downpours, though, on some of this. But let's give you an idea what the winds are like. So we got about 20-mile-an-hour winds or so. That's registering on radar. It might be a little bit quicker at the surface. And same thing down here for some of those other areas, just down into portions of West Virginia. Let me go ahead and click it back here. Boy, that didn't like that, did it? That went all haywire for us. Well, that's exciting. Let's go ahead and click over. We'll take it out of that. Let's click back into... let's take a look at this, too. I'm going to switch over to Charleston and see what they got on this one. Yeah. If you're in the Mid-Ohio Valley, definitely got some stronger storms that are approaching you. Here in West Virginia, Parkersburg, it looks like you got a little bit of a gusty downpour, depending on where you were at a few minutes ago. Nice linear threat here. That's kind of what we got going on here for the rest of the afternoon into the evening hours. And you can see kind of these cells just kind of starting to spin up a little bit and spur up a little bit as they move here off towards the east. Take a quick look here, and then we'll wrap things up. Taking a quick look back at the tornado warning, you can kind of see they have updated the tornado warning now, so Wetzel County is officially out of the warning, and now it's out of our coverage area as well. But these two counties here are Marion and Mongolia County, which are not in our coverage area. But there still is a tornado warning for you folks there, and still going pretty strong there. You can kind of see where that rotation is. You got to remember, I'm looking at it a little bit differently. I'm looking at it from another radar. Flip over to Pittsburgh. It gives us a better picture of it here, and you can definitely see that rotation coming in pretty good. So if you're downstream of this, if this holds together into Morgantown, you need to make sure that you're seeking shelter in Mannington. If you're watching us from there as well, yeah, you definitely need to be in your tornado-safe shelter as well. So at this point, we're going to wrap it up because, again, it's out of our coverage area. But, again, if you're anywhere inside of portions here of the two counties into Marion County and Mongolia County in West Virginia, You're under a tornado warning here, and the latest update has this going until 7 o'clock, so another 18 minutes as it's moving here towards the east. And it's moving pretty much directly east. So if I let me go ahead and play the loop on this a little bit and kind of show you which way it's moving. You kind of see it's moving directly towards the east there. Portion of that looks like it's riding right along the line there, and it could hit portions of Morgantown if it holds together. So be leery of that, be wary of that as it moves forward. So we are keeping an eye on this, and again, we're keeping an eye on all of these other cells that are working its way through. And again, for those of you that are highlighted here, portions of Ohio and West Virginia, you do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 p.m., which was really weird the way they issued that, but that's a whole other story for another day. But we are continuing to watch these storms, so the bottom line is for the next few hours, if you are anywhere outside of that, I'll flip on the outlook still. Here's the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Anywhere in green, you're pretty much good to go for the rest of the afternoon and evening. You might see a few stray showers, but if you're in that yellow area, you're under the slight risk for severe weather, especially as this line is now pretty much moving into the area. So if you're anywhere in the yellow, you just need to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings over the next few hours as these storms and this front continues to push through. So much needed relief for some of us, especially with the heat, crazy amount of heat over the past week, and definitely well-deserved and well-needed rain in most of the areas, and some of the agricultural folks and cornfields definitely need the rain depending on where you're at. So that's what we got going on right now. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll continue to watch this. We'll continue to come back live as we need to. Download the app, Ohio News and Weather, in the Play Store, Google Play, or the Apple App Store, and you can receive warnings and alerts right along with us. So for now, we're going to wrap it up. This is Owen Fritz here. Have a good evening. We'll continue to come back live as